Look at that. Hey, look how professional we look.
So professional. I'm wearing a blue.
Yeah, if only you were in the center of the shot.
All right, move that way. Move that way. Okay, now look how great we look. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
We look almost as great as the Denver Nuggets look tonight. As
Transition.
they defeat. Yes, exactly. They defeat the Heat. What's the score? Let me look up somewhere.
109
to 94.
15, yeah.
109-94. A score that, again, like game one, feels a lot closer than what the game actually was. This is a story of a team that two teams that couldn't make threes, but one of them was just taller and bigger and made a bunch of shots in the inside while the other one didn't.
Hey, that sounds like game one.
I hate to say it again. Who had the bigger boys?
Oh, that's right. That was Charlotte's announcement.
Wow. Call them
Game
pipsqueaks
one.
again.
Denver had the bigger boys.
Yeah, but that makes Miami pipsqueaks?
Oh, pipsqueaks.
You know, for a second I got worried. Like, wait, can she not hear the audio? Did I not solve it? But as you can see, we are both using our own AirPods, so there's no worry there. We've got the video going.
I was very worried. I'm going to tell you, I was very worried about the AirPod situation.
The AirPod situation has been solved, man. It's been solved. We're standing probably a few feet from the Nuggets family section. I see. Look, it's like a mountain, and it's wearing a blue Jokic jersey from Serbia.
Yep.
And this is definitely not the one that Jenna pointed out to me in Denver before game two.
Nemanja is the less aggressive looking one. And
okay.
Strahinja, by the way, Zach, why don't you do me a favor, Zach? Zach, can you do me a favor and just Google what Strahinja means in Serbian?
Yeah, and I know how to spell that, so that's fine.
Strahinja.
Someone didn't take their Baltic names.
Great fear, dread, or horror.
Yes.
No way. That's not real. That can't be real.
That
you
is.
Made this up.
No.
Have you seen him?
The rough translation in Serbian.
I didn't know that was his name.
Is great fear or horror. So take that as you will, Amin, and keep your distance, please.
Just
for the safety of you and Charlotte.
I mean, like, I could throw my phone and hit him from here.
Don't do that.
Do
not do that.
Better than running the stairs.
Don't listen to Zach.
Well, then you'd have to run the stairs.
Yeah, one direction though, straight up and out, and out the arena. Jokic first 30-20-10 triple double in NBA Finals history. He just looked bigger than everybody else out there, man. And it's funny on a day where it's like he was as dominant on both ends of the floor as you'd want your star player to be. This wasn't a good advertisement for he's fun to watch. This wasn't a fun 30-20-10. This was like, I'm just going to beat you into a pulp.
Bully ball.
Yeah, he's a guy that you can tell that he played a lot of water polo as a kid, the way he flings the ball one-handed in the paint. And he just has, as Jeff Van Gundy says, every time that he touches the ball, he just has such good touch. And it always hits the front of the rim and plops right into the basket. As soon as he says that, then Jokic just swishes a shot the next time. It's just uncanny. And
water polo, tough on the horses. That's what they say.
Yes.
I drowned 3 ponies.
No, bad, Zach.
No? That's no
good. You know how old that joke is, Zach? Some Like It Hot, 1957.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. Greg Cody.
I just watched Rear Window the other night. God, what a great movie.
Some Like It Hot was my favorite movie when I was a kid. Which
really?
Probably says a lot about
Were you 62 when you were a kid?
Yes, I was born 65 years old.
Benjamina Buttons over here. Mike Ryan crying about the rest. Oh, let me tell you something. The group chat that me and Zach are in with Mike and Izzy and Sedano, like, dude, you know what's funny? They kept talking about brothers, and I thought they meant those guys over there. And I was like, but they have nothing to do with this. What are you talking about? And it took me a while to figure out. Now, I will say the calls that stood out to me the most were the 2 fouls that Gabe Vincent picked up right behind me here on the floor. One, an inadvertent trip of Jamal Murray after he'd been shoved by Murray. And the other one, I still am not sure what the call was, where thanks, DraftKings. I didn't use the word uninspiring. I said not fun to watch. But
yeah, good clarification there.
Yep. The other foul was the one where they inbounded to Jokic, and again, Vincent comes up and gets the steal, and they call. I don't know what the call was. Like, so obviously the replays here in the arena weren't great. Did you guys see at home, what that call was, and were there other similarly egregious calls?
Yeah, he got called for being a pipsqueak. That was the foul. It's being too small. And no, they were both just egregiously bad calls. But as bad as the officials were at times in this game, I didn't like. Yeah, I just don't like blaming the refs.
Yeah, the Heat didn't shoot. They didn't shoot like they usually do, and that's the game. It's when you can't stop Jamal Murray, when you can't stop Jokic, and you can't shoot. That's not a good recipe for success. And Jamal Murray, 34 points, triple-double. They kept him in late in the game, and I'm very upset about this. I'm going to protest this win on behalf of Ish Smith. The fact that they kept Jamal Murray in that garbage time so that he could get a triple-double. I think they should do it like Giannis when he tried to pull a Ricky Davis. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't besmirch the name of Ricky Davis with Zach Harper on.
You want me on this thing? I will march off right now.
But I don't think those should count. The blowout triple-doubles like that, at the very least, they should have played Ish Smith and let him play in an NBA Finals game. Free Ish, man.
Also, though, then Denver, you have Christian Braun.
Yeah,
I'm not going to Christian Braun.
You lost that coin flip, Charlotte. I know.
It's really awful. Anyway, like, he played well. Aaron Gordon, everybody sort of played fine. And then Jokic, and Murray go off. And then the Heat, you look at their stats, it's like single digits for most of the guys.
Tom, are you upset? It's not the late minutes that didn't go to Ish Smith. To me, it's the Reggie Jackson minutes. Why wasn't that Ish Smith? That's the troubling thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to start an investigation if you guys want to go in on it, what the deal is. Oh, we have a Jokic brother Cam here.
Perfect.
Oh, my. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
This
January
is great.
Look, why don't the graininess? The graininess is my favorite part. Good job. Yeah. By the way, a brave Juju Gotti. Sacrificing himself, putting his body on the line for the team.
Juju, let's do it. Careful. Let's make this happen.
There's a couple of things. So,
this shit whack. They got me trying to catch the goddamn Jokic brother on goddamn fin. What the fuck I look like?
I like how Juju figured it out after the fact. Like, it took you a minute to realize what we sent you to do.
Shouldn't Juju be roasting the Jokic brothers fit right now?
Oh, you got the loop. It's all right. No, don't do that. These people are gonna lose their mind. All right, so this thing. What?
No. Oh my God!
Get your camera out. Get your camera out.
What just happened?
Did someone find Amin's laptop?
No, this is
somebody open a tab.
What is?
It was a flip. Slip.
Is that are those toes?
Those are toes.
Why would you put that on the stream?
Jesus.
No, it don't matter. That's not camera anyway.
Is that Jeremy?
This man made these shoes
All right,
himself.
He failed.
Charlotte, let's do a full breakdown here.
What is your name?
Clark.
Hi, Clark.
And how did you come up with the inspiration to make these shoes?
It can be cool and actually the shoes are a little bit small. So I and normally I wear this style. Yes.
Toey Graham.
That is amazing. That is ingenious. You took a problem and turned it into style.
Thank you.
Nikola Jokic.
Thank you, Clark.
Oh boy.
Yo, I want to just say real quick, because again, even for the video audience, y'all didn't see this. What happened was told the kill. Good job.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a win.
I'm talking over here, and I look at Juju, and Juju's literally jumping up and down. He's jumping up and down like head over heels.
Norris Cole during the Ray Allen Game 6 shot. That's what he was. Yes.
I was like, what are you doing? What's going on? And then he just points, and I turn and I look.
That was our buddy Clark.
Buddy heel.
Well done.
Buddy toes.
Oh boy.
Go to the penalty box. So, but going back to the game, right? So Both teams shot really bad from three. We know that.
Yeah.
The Heat shot slightly better because of a late surge there by the usual empty calorie Duncan Robinson threes. But really, the story of this game.
He led the team in scoring in the fourth quarter last game when they took over. And you're saying usual empty calories?
I'm sorry. Okay, so you had the one. Okay, do you want to go back to the rest of the season?
There's only 3 games.
The rest of the season.
Season.
That's
this whole team shot
means.
Poorly during the season. The whole team shot poorly for the season.
Stop distracting me what the point is. The point is the Nuggets shot 30 or
48. The first 65
30
games.
or 48 30 or 48 in the paint, 60 points. The Heat 17 of 46. That's pipsqueak action right there, if I do say so myself. And it's 17 only amounted to 34 points. Oh, look who's over here. We got
strong. That was strong.
Jerome, Black Dragon Roll.
Black Dragon Roll.
Or Dragon.
Or the
Dragon or Dragon.
Were you guys surprised that Haywood Highsmith didn't get any minutes until late?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been playing pretty well for them. Like, Jokic is cooking at this point. You have no answers. You might as well have just thrown him in at some point and try to see if he can kind of rough up Jokic to a degree. I mean, the Zeller minutes are just awful.
The Zeller
minutes. But I just think in that sense, like every time he's come into games, he's done a good job for the most part. You know, he's a rookie. He's a young guy. He's going to have some mistakes and things like that. But in general, like, he's made plays for them. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't.
By the way,
Cody Zeller.
Do this the whole show, Zach. I'd love this.
Wait, but what was I didn't get that? What was the
Toady?
Cody
Zeller.
They said Cody Zeller. I'm like, that's not a pun. You just said his name. Cody Zeller, the only rotation guy who was a positive plus minus tonight.
Yeah, the Heat let him down, man. I mean, he was trying his best.
Wait, who am I saw?
Dropping the ball, sending it out of bounds. And...
You know what's funny? J Money 82 says Amin is like a 50-year senior seeing his sophomore friends. You know what's funny? You're right. My friends are sophomoric.
Oh my God! You need to go to the.
You guys are childish. That's what it is.
Kevin Pinky.
Charlotte, take the mic from him. Amin needs to go to the box.
Sam Pinky.
You know what's a weird quirk of tonight's game is that the Denver Nuggets did not take a single three-pointer in the fourth quarter. That is the first time this entire season that a team has not taken a three-point shot in the final frame. I don't know if that's a strategy or whether just the Heat defense was just letting him get into the paint and fouling them, and that was it.
They were just strolling on in.
Yes, that was not a strategy. That was called we can't stop anybody on dribble penetration.
And I also just think the blitzing of the pick and roll and things like that just opened up those opportunities. And I thought the Nuggets did a great job cutting off of everything. And that was something they didn't do in game 2. A lot of standing and watching. Whereas in this one, especially in the second half, you saw a lot more cuts, baseline cuts, 45 angle cuts, like all that stuff.
You know who didn't put their best foot forward? Eric Tolstra.
Gonna allow it.
I'm gonna allow it as well. Guys, I know we've talked a lot on the show in the past about can you cheer in the press box? Is it kosher to cheer in the press box, right? What about
Jeremy
if you
come in a
no, it's a different scenario. What about if you're cheering because all your bets are hitting? Is that allowed? I want to bring in special correspondent Juju Gotti, who has a new belt that he got from Ross today.
You feel me? We outside though. We did all my bets cashing in tonight, man. Salute to DraftKings.com, man. Salute to all these folks outside. Salute to my boy. That's the man right there. How about Big Jones, man? What we talking about?
Hey, what kind of tickets did you cash tonight?
Fuck. Tune in, look, subscribe to my shit. You feel me? You get the bets next game. How about that? Soup Snow.
So you're not even gonna tell me what you won on?
Oh, you're not giving away the secrets.
I'm gonna give it away.
Here's what he won on everything.
Mm-hmm. So he had plus 5.5 free throws for Jokic. Let me tell you, when Jokic had 4 free throws, went to the free throw line and missed the first, the yell that came, he roared across the arena. He had Caleb Martin 10 plus
screen checking for the guy in black that just walked by. Screen checking that. Get out of here. No, he went the other way. I mean, never mind. I'm sorry. I just didn't like that. I didn't like
9.5 points for Caleb Martin.
Yeah. Oh, Cody's
let him down.
Who let you down, Juju?
He needed 10 points from CPK.
And what did he get?
like 8.
Who's CPK?
KCP, do you mean?
Yeah, I was like, yo,
CPK, I was like the California Pizza Kitchen.
like,
Like, what are we
you
doing?
10-inch pizza from California
I'm
Pizza
bad
Kitchen.
at saying letters in an acronym.
This is
and
good.
I always do that.
This is good information to learn now. Before I do a show in Charlotte.
Kentovius
Yeah.
Caldwell Pope.
Yeah,
Wow.
alternate spelling.
So what else he had? Like Caleb Zeller.
Wow.
Caleb Martin
This is
plus 9.5. And when Martin had that layup in transition, when they were trying to make that push early in the fourth quarter, again, like I think the arena shook because Stu just said yes, and then even one.
I also had under on Agumba Wale, WNBA, under 23 points. Salute to my sister. Next game she'll get him.
Did
Yeah,
you just
man.
brag about an under on
about a
WNBA
completely different?
player's
Was
point
this a
Unders.
parlay or are these all separates?
I feel like unders should be illegal.
Big parlay games, you feel me? Tune in, man. Soup Snow. I see you, Zach Harper. You my brother. That haircut is
You're
out
my
of control,
brother.
my brother. Motherfucker got a high top box. You look like Kid when he was doing this one. Look at that. Boy, I'm on your ass. Bald head every time I see you. You my brother. I love you. Mo, I got your back.
My man.
It's my guy.
We're waiting on Jenna Garcia to come back from the press conferences, give us some insight from what's happening there. Have you guys seen anything? I know you guys have your Twitter feeds up. What's
No,
happening?
I actually don't. But I wanted to know, Mo, have you ever seen any more like indifferent defensive energy or just energy in general than Michael Porter Jr. So far in this series?
I thought he was good in the second half. I mean, the first half defensively, he wasn't good, but I thought in the second half, he was trying more, made more hustle plays and things like that. He had the one where he chased around, gave Vincent over the top of the screen. Shake your head, Zach, all you want. He made hustle plays on the offensive end, crashing for offensive rebounds and things like that.
We got to stop
than
treating him like he's a puppy.
Mo,
He like
Mo.
No,
he
it's
sucks.
no. Look, it's just
Mo,
he didn't make
Let me tell you
shots.
right
That's
now.
fine, but he was better than that.
You know who lost today? Miami Heat lost today. You know who else lost? MPJ lost some minutes to Christian Brown.
Yep.
Because
Christian Brown was phenomenal.
Brown
He was
took-
amazing.
so good,
That's a
man.
whole
Look,
other deal.
They're gonna
but
they're gonna continue starting them and playing them. But I'm telling you right now, they're not gonna hesitate to pull his ass and put Brown in. Yes, Zach, we're gonna talk about Christian Brown right now.
I would also like to direct everyone to the Batard Instagram where Taylor, who is behind the camera, played a great game of Who Dat Is. And many people in the Miami office did not know who Christian Braun.
Oh, you're so
Yes.
close.
Brown. I know it's Brown. I don't like it.
CPK.
Ryan
Yeah,
Fallen
KGB.
Archidiacono.
Yeah, here's the
Fallen
Christian Brown
Archidiacono.
conversation.
Yeah, no, this is.
I don't know. You kind of need these energy plays from your role players, especially on the road in Miami. He gave everything you wanted to see from Michael Porter Jr. I feel like at some point one of the players is just going to rip Michael Porter Jr.'s head off in a defensive rotation that he misses or just communication. And it was interesting to hear him in the press conference today, basically giving away the game plan, talking about like, hey, when we call out our defensive coverages, the Miami Heat are just doing the opposite thing and countering in real time.
Yeah, that's just.
But that's
That's
NBA
basketball.
basketball. Like that's what happens. Yeah.
Like
And-
you don't think the coverage
Like
is
Mark
the same
Jackson
names.
was.
Like,
Mark Jackson said something about like DeAndre Jordan knows every play that the Heat are running. I'm like, yeah, so does everybody. That's just the NBA.
What that was the thing from game one. I want to say when they're when that Jokic was called pistol. They're like, ooh, it's like it's literally the easiest thing that like the call literally looks like this. I wonder what play this could be. It's like calling out what horns is. Like they're running horns. Like what gave it away? The guy going like this.
But with Christian Brown though, like this is something that he did in game 2 also. In the second quarter of game 2,
The toy gun.
he was phenomenal. Had some big plays, made some defensive possessions, and then pushed the ball in transition and things like that. This is just a continuation of what he's done. And it's not that surprising that this is, he got going in the third quarter.
But I think he took MPJ's slot, man. Like they're gonna keep starting what they start, but I don't think that I think there's gonna be zero hesitation in the future. It's like,
I don't think there was zero hesitation to begin with.
I don't know, man.
He's playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
MPJ's playing a lot of minutes.
He just He does that thing that it's a big pet peeve of mine, is when you're in the corner and you don't get the ball, the shot goes up and he just stands there in the corner.
Yeah.
Either go in for the rebound or get back on defense. Standing there stationary when the other shot goes up, when you're standing in the corner, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. Be active. Do something out there. In the words of Amin, burn a calorie out there.
Fucking single calorie. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
With a minute 14 left in the fourth quarter, Heat down 9. Obviously not a lot of time left, but Bam Adebayo takes a bad elbow jumper.
Yeah,
he had Duncan Robinson open right at the top of the key or top of the arc.
Who took a bad? Who was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Idris from the elbow.
Yeah, Idris elbow, as I like to call him.
he took and look, man. I guess if it goes, you're down 7, but Duncan, empty calories get you to 6 there. Yeah. And then who knows?
But it's not
70 seconds left.
It's not about 7 versus 6. It's also you've shot like shit all game long. Hey, here's an idea. As Jokic is sprawled all the way back there on the ground, take one dribble and destroy whoever's in your way. And that's the frustration, right? That's what we're dealing with.
As I told Amin in the group chat, you can't go with fan fiction here. Like that, Bam is not gonna do that. Right. Like Duncan Robinson will at least shoot a 3.
I mean, Bam going 2 for 9 in the second half, all on shots that the Nuggets are perfectly fine with him taking. Mm-hmm. It's the same story in game 1. Like, hey, if he makes them, he makes them. Those are shots that he can make, but it won't beat us. And I think that's a big one there.
Bam sometimes looks like the most confident man in the world when he misses shots, and then really rattled when he makes them. And after he missed that jumper, he was like swaggering away. It's like
because then he gets to say, he gets to say at that point he gets to say, man, if I had made that, y'all be in trouble, right? Like that's the most powerful thing that you can say in sports.
Yo, shout out to everyone in the chat. I'm really appreciating all the comments. Javier Santiago, go to the penalty box. This man said his foot pun was Jamal Murray. To the penalty box.
No, that's 10
minute major. 10-minute major.
I'll take it. I like it. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense, but I like it.
Why not your foot then at that point?
No, that's stupid.
Yeah,
what are you
dumb?
Paul Torrey was right there.
Carmelo ankle knee.
That's not a foot.
But it's not we didn't see
ankle.
Ankle knee. It was a toe. The thing.
I mean, did you hear my Ryan Fallen Archidiakono?
I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. What else we got? Jenna's here.
Take a lot to take me away from you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Who sings that song?
Oh, Toto.
Oh boy,
you guys are terrible.
Thank you.
Is this a good?
Yo, she just got it. She just got it.
I was like, Tom, how do you not know who sings that song?
Exactly. To the penalty box. Take Javier Santiago. Juju, please share what you just said to me off camera.
My boy Avery Johnson back here. My dog fresh as hell, man. My boy big I think that Gucci on the feet. You feel me? Hey man, salute to the greatest.
This is a great suit.
Also,
great suit going on.
Underrated hairline in the game. Avery Johnson, like his hairline is illustrious always.
Would you take his hairline if you had his voice? If it came with his voice,
I love his voice. I'd take his voice in a heartbeat.
Really?
In a heartbeat. Well, man, when you tell people to do things, it sounds very authoritative, man. Like
no, you don't. I would never listen to someone with that voice. I would never listen to someone with that voice. Are you kidding me?
Get out of here. He's got that twang.
I won't get out of here.
You will get out of here.
Hey, Avery, just a question. How do you feel about the Heat's defense tonight in Game 3?
Are you trying to get me? I can't do it, man.
Oh, wow.
I can't do it.
I mean, hold on real quick. Do you remember our guy, Foots Walker?
Oh, yeah. So Zach and I, this is a real dumb story, but this is NBA Finals coverage, right? This is what you need. Zach and I, we used to do a segment on the radio called This Date in NBA History. And we go through things that happened at people's birthdays. And there's a guy whose name is Foots Walker. And apparently Zach's dad covered him in college Zach's dad worked for the college paper, which I didn't know.
Yeah, West Georgia College. My dad said, I just pulled up the text. This is from May 21st, 2021. Clarence Foots Walker, when we recruited him, we came close to getting McAdoo too, but UNC offered him a deal he couldn't refuse. I don't know if my dad can break those kind of allegations, but he did.
Your dad is basically alleging the bag man came coming.
Even back then.
West Georgia bagman was just not ready to battle UNC.
We're joined now by Jenna Garcia, who just come from all the post-game media availability. Jenna, oh no, she's got AirPods on. No, do you?
Okay.
I do.
Yep. So she's tapped in. We're all tapped in. Yeah. See,
There you go.
I fixed it. You're welcome, everybody.
You,
my genius.
But you broke
Give
it.
me enough time.
I feel like this is gonna fall apart.
It was Taylor's idea.
No, it wasn't Taylor. I told Taylor.
Ah,
Taylor.
there we go.
I told you. I tell you,
Taylor.
man. I'll give you $100, Zach, if you can say his last name without reading it. Yeah. Even with reading it, actually. Jenna,
Vimbalist?
Yeah, good job. Jenna, what takeaways do you have from the press conferences?
Michael Malone is much more pleased with his team. He felt like the defense actually had a lot less breakdowns. They played much better this game. The effort, obviously, getting 2 triple doubles from your 2 stars. First time in NBA history that you get 2 triple doubles. Pretty impressive. He obviously was pretty pleased with his team this go around. Worked out in his favor. If it hadn't, they held Miami to very few, like 37, I think, % from 3-point line. So.
And that was after just a couple of makes at the end from Lowry and from Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, Lowry drops 3 late. So, yeah, really impressive performance for the Nuggets.
Now, Mo, one other thing. Oh, wait. Javier Santiago wants to know, did Jenna's bets hit? She wasn't cheering as much for the bets like Juju.
No, I didn't cheer for the bets because I don't want to disappoint Greg Cody, But I wasn't able to put in any bets here because this state is so weird. Everything is legal here except for betting. I don't understand it.
Yeah, how is Florida the state where you can't bet on your phone? You can do anything in Florida.
Great question, actually.
Because everybody wants it to stay illegal because there's more fun giving money to your bookie in an alley and doing it that way versus the actually just doing it the easy way on your phone.
Ron DeSantos.
Women meeting strange men in alleyways to pay them money. I'm just saying, we like to bet. Women like to bet, but can we make it safe?
I'm with it.
Well, that's a Florida thing. They're not going to help you.
No, they're not trying.
They're not trying to help women.
They're not trying to help women at all. You're new here.
Only one woman.
What?
Go woke, go tote.
It sounded funny.
I'll tell you,
didn't work, Zach.
I'm gonna just tell you guys. I don't know if you guys watched the show today, but Charlotte with every waking moment becomes more and more like Stugotz. Like, it's frightening. It is terrifying. I hear Stugotz talking, and I turn and I see Charlotte.
Okay. I mean, on the show, I was like, a road environment's going to be great for them. Denver needs to come in and feel like they've got a chip on their shoulder. They don't want a home crowd. I know they've been great at home. And Amin was like, oh, wow, you're Stugotz. And what happened tonight is all I'm saying.
The better team won?
Fire in the belly was one of the terms she used earlier. You said fire. They got fire.
Wait, Charlotte, to be fair, you didn't know you said pipsqueaks either. You might have said fire in the belly.
I'm an unreliable narrator.
But Mo, you also had the analysis that, when I asked you what the adjustment is going to be, you said they're going to play harder and better. Is that simply what happened tonight, or is there anything else you saw?
No, and I also had said they were going to do a better job with getting Jokic the ball in the zone and things like that. Yeah. But I think I do think just their defensive execution was better and they were more locked in. There wasn't so many mistakes where they let guys kind of just get wide open threes off of one guy switching, one guy staying and all of that stuff and being in different coverages. But again, I said it earlier, just their offense, the cutting and the movement across the board was really what changed the game for them.
Juju just clicked his heels. I don't know what happened in the world of sports.
Another bet hit.
Yeah. Another bet hit. What are the West Coast games right now?
Athletes.
CBK plus 300 over Cheesecake Factory.
What was that dude's name? The forward for the Utah Jazz, former Utah Jazz.
What?
It's a terrible setup. What's happening here?
The dude who had like 40 points back in the Heatles day. In Miami. No, was it
Millsap?
And then he played. It was Paul Bunyan. That's right. Yeah.
No.
That's not penalty box worthy.
No. It's
Paul Bunyan. No. Yeah, it wasn't Paul Millsap.
Like it was because the walk in the park was unnecessary. That's the problem.
Why was that unnecessary?
You could have just called Paul Bunyan.
Mo said Paul Millsap. We got there.
No, you could have said Chris Paul Bunyan. There you go.
No, because it's not his first name. It's his last name is Paul. That doesn't work immediately.
How about
you go to the penalty box?
How about Edo Bunyan?
Edo Bunyan,
better.
Way better.
Because there's a B in there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Paul Bunyan, I think that Christian Braun looks like Paul Bunyan's great grandson.
Wow.
I know it's Brown, but I don't.
Charlotte, what just happened there?
Jenna, tell us.
Don't put that on Jenna.
About the bets.
That's what you gave Jenna. That
really get the word bets out.
The bets. CB, 15
right,
points.
Let me help you out here.
Jenna, if you could bet while you were in Florida, what would your bets have been?
Thank you, Mo. What a great question. Actually, Taylor and I discussed today. Jamal Murray, 20-plus points. NIKOLA Jokic, 30-plus points. And Denver Nuggets money line would have got you plus 300 odds on DraftKings today. Would have been a lock of the century if I could lock it in here, but I hate this state.
Damn.
Also, this stadium is way smaller than the Nuggets stadium.
It's Florida.
Way smaller. Just kidding. It actually holds more people.
Jenna's got to embrace the Denver homer. She's leaning into it.
Yeah, Denver, the city that didn't even care that the finals was going on.
No. Yo, so what was that?
Wait, see if you can get less on the camera. I mean,
no, because I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. Oh, damn, knocked the hell out of her.
Did anybody say NIKOLA Jokic?
Someone in the chat said some of these toe puns are corny. Welcome to the show.
No, corn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should have mean. Don't click your heels.
What the show Amin?
He's gonna pull a hamstring trying to click.
He's like, yeah, that's the show, man. You just got incepted by your own show.
Wow.
If I could tell you what Jamal Murray's all-time rank in postseason scoring average, where would you say he was? All-time Jamal Murray, minimum 50 games. All-time scoring average.
No, he's top 5, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean they can't be. First off, there can't be that many people on the list.
Yeah.
What you're saying? I mean, no, don't do this. It totally takes the air out of this stat. He's 17th.
He's got to be 117th.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah,
he's 17th all time in postseason scoring. He just passed Dirk Nowitzki. He's at 25.4 points per game in his career in the postseason. Never been into an All-Star, never All NBA. He has a higher scoring average in the playoffs than Kareem, Shaq, Larry Bird, Barkley, Harden, Wilt. Has more 30-point games at this age in his postseason career than Melo did, Russ, Harden, Kyrie, and Tim Duncan.
Who's the comp?
I was just going to ask, if we had a player this good at scoring in the postseason that didn't have an All-Star or considered one of the best.
Do any of you guys feel like he's an All-Star caliber player?
This year is the first time I've considered him to be an All-Star caliber player. I don't think he was there in the past, because you have to think in the West for years it has just been loaded, right? So you're saying he's got to get in there over certain guards that he just wasn't better than and having better years than. But this is the first year where it's he's legit an All-Star caliber player, and we'll probably start making it with the coaches voting him in the coming years.
I mean,
so go ahead,
Zach's right on about that. I also think this year he started out slow. Was no reason to vote him into this stuff. He only kind of grew into the Murray that we saw towards the second half of the season and really started to look comfortable.
He only overcame an ACL tear.
Tail? ACL tail.
There we go.
ACL Taylor.
We're all leaking.
I refer to those as LCAs.
He tore his LSATs. Fred Van Vliet.
Oh,
That's a good one.
10 toes, Tony.
Man,
Oh yeah, that was an accident. Taylor's letting us know that was an accidental post. That should have made it to the screen.
Tony.
Fred Van Vliet is pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Hey, do we think that Damian Lillard's going to be in Miami Heat next year?
That's a great question. We didn't get to it on the show today because the news broke right after we did post game. But for those that haven't heard, basically the breaking news from Showtime, I believe, is where that came out of.
Yep.
Is that if Damian Lillard does get traded, his preference is Miami over Boston, New York, and Brooklyn. I kind of feel like Miami is the new age Knicks in terms of every time there's a star available, we're going to talk about that. Are they going to go to Miami? So we've heard the same thing about Joel Embiid in this offseason. We said the same thing, or his offseason. It's not obviously the offseason for Miami. And we said the same thing about Giannis, especially after firing with Mike Budenholzer. The idea that somehow they're going to get all of these guys. And I know why, because unlike the Knicks, they actually had a time when they got all the guys. So do you guys think there is a possibility for that? I just look at the Heat roster and I say, if Damian Lillard's availably traded, I don't think the Heat could put the best offer.
Well, what's interesting is he said, I would love to go to Miami in that hypothetical because Bam is my dog. And the irony is that if he gets traded to Miami, it's going to be for Bam Adebayo. Unless the Heat can pull off a Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson trade again, where they basically give nothing over to the other team, they're able to get a star player for almost nothing, right?
With the way Joe Cronin has handled trades, that's a possibility.
No, I don't think
they
the
have
funny
been
thing is
terrible.
I don't think they'd want Bam. I don't agree with it, but I think if we're trading Dame, we're going to be going all young, tanking, using the third pick, Scoot Henderson, Simons, Shaedon Sharp, whatever. It just try to be bad and tank for another year and continue that way.
Oh, you didn't hear Bam Adebayo has a hamstring injury that's going to knock him out for the entirety of next season.
Real quick, Amin mentioned Giannis, and I'm just confused. Did he mean Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Zach.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out to Roca 222. Zach looks like he walked into Supercuts and said, "Give me the Argentina."
I never been to Supercuts in my life, and I guarantee Rocca is very struggling in the hair department. Don't talk.
What?
You could have fixed it with the liquid collagen. DM me $10 off. Is that Vinny?
No, no, man. Vinny be working post game, man.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, Vinny works, man.
Look, Vinny before the game.
Vinny doesn't work before the game at all. He doesn't work during the game at all. But at post game, because he's catching up from all the other work he didn't do in the pregame or during the game. But post game, he works his ass off, man. He be in there. He's like, it's funny. It's like it's been so long since I've written that I forget how much shit writers have to do. Like I walk in there, like Sam Amick and Jeff Zilgett are still typing away. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Hey, come on over here, and they're just flipping you the bird. Like, come on, man.
This is the first sports big moment I've covered that I haven't been writing for, and so I was sitting there feeling this phantom anxiety because I hadn't written anything, and then I remembered I didn't have to file it. So shout out to all those people working really hard.
It's a new experience for you, Charlotte. It's a new experience.
So long, suckers. That's what she said. Translate. Game 4. What do you guys see as far as adjustments from the Heat?
They got to have a lot more energy on the boards. Jokic had more rebounds than the entire Miami Heat team in the third quarter. Just all the energy numbers were way down for the Heat. They had only 1 turnover in the first half, which was good. Jimmy Butler shot about 100 field goal attempts in the first quarter, was just going at it every single time. But the boards, they got to clean up the boards, have more energy. What does Pat Riley like to say? No rebounds, no rings?
No rings, yeah.
So they got to do a better job.
They don't have the size. That's really the bigger concern with that. And I think they have to they can't overhelp as much as they did in the second half with this game. Like there were times where Christian Braun was driving and Jimmy would leave Jokic to go help on Braun. And
but like, do I have this off? I don't think Christian Braun should be the kind of player who's breaking you guys off the dribble, right?
No,
like the breakdown of we can't keep him off the dribble. A problem. Yeah, that's problematic. And I thought the energy in terms of just pure one-on-one defense, guarding your man was non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, they just allowed them into the paint over and over again, way too easily.
I mean, can we get a Jokic brother update?
They're not here anymore. It's cowards.
Check
Jenna was inside. So Jenna, we saw them. I saw the one you pointed out, and like I don't know why everyone's afraid of that one. The other one.
That's the one that fights in the UFC. That's the one that fights in the UFC. You were the one that. I mean, wasn't scared of.
MMA fighter. 3-0 Nemanja is
the other one. The other one is it looked everything that Mark Spears and David Aldridge and Jason Jackson and all the other old black men in my video told me about, like an old kind of like something passed down mouth, generation to generation by mouth. Like, you don't want to anger the da da da. I was like, get out of here. And then I saw it, and literally, it was Jeff Green said the same thing. It's like I didn't see his face, by the way. I just saw him from the back, and it was literally a cascade of.
Sure, it was him. You didn't see his face.
Look, man, if it ain't him, I'm scared of whatever that was. I don't know who it was. I'm just saying I'm scared. It was scary looking, like literally a cascade of tattoos coming down the back, and like he was wearing clearly an authentic Jokic Serbian jersey, but like it was.
Wouldn't it be better if it was a replica?
No, but here's the funny part, Zach. I don't say authentic meaning as far as stitched versus screen printed. I say it in the sense of this was a game jersey, and
that's his brother's jersey, right? Yeah.
And Nikola Jokic is not a small man. We call him a loaf of bread all the time. This thing clearly was struggling for all its might just to fit this dude. It was like for the pocket. Yep. It was all of this. Was
I saw Charlotte's. I saw Charlotte's video, and I thought like that looks like an extra medium. Like that looked like Dan Uggla's jersey. Like that was.
I gotta go look this up. Hold on,
dude. Mo, I'm telling you, man. Like it could not hold him. It could not hope to contain him. It was struggle bus city.
Bam has a better opportunity to stop Nikola Jokic than that jersey does of holding his brother. Like,
have we done Bam out of by toe?
No, I think.
That's new.
There you go. I got one in.
I have to shout out Jenna because I was taking that video and she said it was Jamal Murray's dad that the large Jokic brother was putting his arm around. Their families are really close?
I don't know if their families are close, but they were sitting together for tonight's game. Jamal's dad comes to everything. Obviously, he's very involved in his training growing up and everything. But yes, and Nikola's wife was here. I never understand why we don't talk about the wives or like the sisters or the moms. No one ever says Jamal's mom really contributed to his upbringing. It's all about his dad. I don't understand it. But his wife was here, and they have a very adorable story going all the way back to high school where they were high school sweethearts. And he actually said that he chased her to the U.S., never chased the Nuggets. His word.
90-Day Fiance?
No, she played volleyball at the University of Oklahoma.
Yes, I just wanted to interrupt that heartwarming story to point that Jericho said Charlotte looks like a rare book stealer. God damn it. That is an excellent looks like.
That first edition of Don Quixote.
That one's show worthy. I think that's main show worthy.
I've never been at once so seen and so owned at the same time. Thank you. I'm going to take it as a compliment. I
would. Chris Paul was reported to be told that he was waived by the Phoenix Suns today. Chris Haynes reporting that he was told he was going to be waived by the Phoenix Suns, which is a shocker in the sense that he's guaranteed $16 million next season. He's on contract for $30 million, and 16 of that is guaranteed. And then a couple other reports are downplaying that from ESPN and elsewhere, saying, wait a minute. they're just mulling their options here. The Phoenix Suns are not actually waiving him. We are kind of not doing that. We want to keep our options open, which is, to me, a smokescreen because they didn't want that to get out, and now they got to hold some sort of leverage in trades and figure out what they're going to do. And that word got out. Chris Paul, according to Chris Haynes, is going to be waived by the Phoenix Suns. So he can't come back to the Phoenix Suns. If he's waived and clears waivers, then he can re-sign with the Phoenix Suns at a lower cap number. But that just seems very, I don't know, odd for a team to do that.
It doesn't make a lot of sense because I don't know how it opens up a ton of cap space for them. I'm not sure I fully understand what the game plan is. Maybe we'll see something later and go like, oh, that's why you made the move or whatnot. But I have questions.
Don, yes. Veteran minimum. I've also been trying to get the cadence on a Jenna Garfiza, but it's not there, right? It's not there.
No.
Mm-mm.
Where if you were
John
Chris
Haberstroh?
Paul and you did leave the Suns, leaving the Suns part of this out of it, where would you?
I would go to Charlotte just to watch Scoot Henderson, LaMelo Ball, and Chris Paul play point guard.
Oh, it's Brandon Miller. They're taking Brandon Miller at the two.
Taking Brandon Miller. I think doesn't could he be that Rondo role in 2020 for the Lakers? Would he make sense on back on the Clippers?
If he's willing to play kind of like a Lowry role and significantly lower minutes, I think he makes sense for a lot of teams.
Replace James Harden in Philly.
So I think I think it's Lakers. I think Boston he'd help. I think he'd help Milwaukee. Yeah. I think there's a lot of places that he could end up.
I think Boston for sure. We talked about this me and Mo. I think we talked about this a while ago about the idea that what the Celtics really miss is just someone who's like a creator, like someone who can calm them down, who can create for others, because all they have is a bunch of guys they want to score. Should be pointed at Chris Paul makes due to make $30.8 million next year, but only half of that is guaranteed if they cut him by June 28th, which is why we're hearing all this chatter right now as opposed to July 1st. They have pretty much 3 weeks as of yesterday.
Yeah. Steve Martel was a proud comic.
Did you not have your
Who said that? Who brought that up?
Tom said all.
Did you think we just stumbled on Chris Paul for no reason without bringing the context?
No. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's worth noting that Chris Paul is a member of the Phoenix Suns currently and has been there for a couple of seasons.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what are your thoughts on him possibly going to Memphis as a sort of mentor to John Morant and being
replacement,
like the substitute for half the season, so he doesn't have to.
I don't see
Tyus Jones for.
I don't see. First of all, I don't know why they won't like Tyus Jones plays great. Like if I'm Memphis, I feel very comfortable with Tyus Jones. Second of all, I don't think Ja is gonna want to be mentored by Chris Paul.
Is anybody gonna want to be mentored by Chris?
Yeah, I feel like I think if you're up and coming, maybe if you're
the first year is always great. The first year is always
no. This dude does not like this dude. The guy's like was in an MVP conversation bar like earlier in the season before he got kicked out for having a gun, basically. But he was it like when you're at that level, you're not trying to hear Chris Paul like tell you about all the shit you're doing wrong.
Right.
Well, who is he gonna listen to then? Not to say that Chris Paul is like the greatest.
He's gonna listen to Adam Silver. If Adam Silver decides to actually give a consequence, then he'll listen to Adam Silver.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bring someone in from the outside or from another team to play that role.
Do we have a DraftKings number on the length of suspension, or?
I mean, it's got to be at 40.5 now, right? Like it's got to,
DraftKings account in this state.
Yeah, Jenna will look it up in a few days.
Yeah. Like Jenna really looks
fly
like
back Saturday. Right?
Saturday, she's gonna
she looks like,
follow her on Twitter. She's gonna give us all this information on Saturday.
She really is like exhibiting withdrawal symptoms. She's sweating. She's scratching herself, rocking a little bit. Like man, Gambleholics Anonymous, right? What's the number? 1-800-GAMBLERS.
I've got a text from our friend Marshall Newhouse, Super Bowl champion Marshall Newhouse. I mean,
oh wait, you know Marshall Newhouse?
Yeah, I love Marshall, and I did a thing at a Super Bowl once.
He's the best.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
That's great. Dynamite drop in Charlotte. He says John Morant should have a sit-down convo with Emmanuel Ochto.
Well done, Marshall.
What about like if you're Chris Paul and you're trying to get to a team that is looking to like jump up and win, and a young team, I guess kind of what we thought OKC was going to tank, and then they're good for a year, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't Orlando make a ton of sense with how good they were after the first like 28 games or whatever it was, 25 games?
Yes, except if you're Chris Paul, is that the sort of situation that appeals to you now when it's like you're in the twilight of your career? Wouldn't you rather want to play for?
I don't know what the contracts would be to make it work, and I think you would need a third team because I don't know that's that attractive. But maybe that's when a trade coms into the mix. If you're willing to pay him that 30, if you're Orlando,
the player
to
you
jump
need to
up.
watch here is Fred Van Vliet or Feet. If he leaves Toronto, that opens up a spot, and we could see Chris Paul going to Toronto Raptors next season, and I think that would be a really good fit, replacing Fred Van Fleet. So keep an eye out for a Toronto
Are we okay?
Raptors.
This has not been a good.
This has been a bit rough. This has been a bit rough.
That had 3 toes in it. Toronto Raptors.
But the Toronto.
No one's going to top that.
But if Fred Van Vliet leaves Toronto, that's a great call, Tom.
But I had to do Toronto radio the other day, and they asked me like, what's going to happen? And Toronto was one of the teams at the trade deadline that had all the chatter around them, right? Because Van Vliet, because Gary Trent, because OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam were all kind of on the market, and none of them ended up getting traded. The Raptors still haven't hired a head coach. Do you guys see any connection between all those things happening?
Oh, Chris Paul player coach? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Then they have to listen to him.
Yeah.
Then they have
to. There's a real long walk in the park I want to make about.
Let's go on the journey.
Yeah. All right, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Chris Paul doesn't.
You're going to regret this. Is your fault.
It's past midnight.
He doesn't defend like he used to, but he's a really smart player, particularly when he's coming to help from the nail.
Well done. Well done. That was a good one.
Give it to you.
Thank you.
Your past sins have been forgiven, Amin.
What else we got here, guys? Anything else?
Who wins game 4?
Who wins game 4? That's a good one.
I think the Heat win game 4. I think they just got to play better defense. It feels like I'm doing a walk in the park, even when I'm making analysis. I feel like people are listening like, "Oh, where's he going with this?" Look, if part of the reason why they weren't able to go zone against the Nuggets is because they weren't getting, the Nuggets were not taking the ball out of the basket, or essentially they were going out in transition, and the Heat weren't able to get into zone. And that didn't disrupt them at all in tonight's game. So I think they're going to have to figure out a way to make more shots from downtown, which will help them obviously score points, but also let them get their defense set up in a zone and try to disrupt. And it goes hand in hand. We like to think that these things are not related, offensive rating and defensive rating, but I do think there's a lot more with the Miami Heat. If they're hitting their shots, they're going to be a whole lot better defensively.
At what point does the size become insurmountable? Like, do you think that's what's going to be what eventually? No, I'm serious. Like, sorry. Oh,
sorry.
Can you delete something that's live?
We'll fix that in post.
At what point? But seriously, like, is Denver inevitable because they're much stronger than bigger? I don't want to say bigger now because
probably. Probably, but. It also, like, I don't know, David beat Goliath and Goliath. We've had the Warriors were a smaller team, but obviously they were the Warriors, and so they had the shooting to do it. I think Miami is capable of playing physical basketball in a way that neutralizes it, but they have to play not perfect, but like close to it.
Dude, the margin of error for this team is not big. I've been saying it since they were up 3-1 in the Celtics series. Like, it feels good when they're like everything's hitting, but like that little bit of them not making perimeter shots meant the Nuggets could sag and pack the paint, meant life was harder for Jimmy and for Bam meant when they would sag and they kick out, those closeouts were a lot harder with a lot more like aggression, and all of that bled in. Like, yeah, man, you don't have that and then when you take that to the other side, because you're not making them take it out of the basket, they're coming on rebounds. It's hard to stop them in transition or / the offense is in flow. So now we can't get into our places, and then we don't have the energy to stop people and dribble penetration. It's getting into the paint. We're getting into Jokic, whatever the hell we want. Like, all of these things are connected, Mo, like you said. But it starts with you guys have, like, the game plan cannot be compromised. You have to do the things you're supposed to do. I'm not saying they got to shoot 50% from three, but you can't be that terrible. There was a point when it was like Strus, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, and Lowry were 2 of 17 combined from three.
Yeah,
like, that's a game right there.
Well, but I don't think Denver is going to continue to shoot as poorly from three.
Yeah, that's coming too.
That's coming, and I think that's going to be a big problem for them come Game 4. If I had to guess, I think Denver breaks out of that in Game 4 and finds a rhythm with all that stuff, and I think it just becomes even tougher for Miami after that.
I just think we keep discounting the Heat team and their toughness, and at a certain point, they are just going to play bigger than they are. They're going to be tough. They're going to be in the face of Denver. It's going to intimidate. They're going to play a lot like metatarsal world peace.
I see you just worked all that way.
Wow. We have to go out on that. Tom looks like he can't believe this is what his career has come to. What career? For our favorite rare bookstore librarian, there's Charlotte Wilder and Amin Elhassan in Miami on the floor. Yep.
The online bookstore is called Charlotte's Web.
There we go. Well done.
Charlotte's Web toe.
Quite the dismount.
Charlotte,
Jenna, thank you for joining us. Jenna Garcia, thank you for joining
Nuggets
us.
in 5.
Nuggets in 5, she says.
Nuggets in 5. Nuggets in 5?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to amend what they said? Oh, here comes Juju. Juju got up.
Tom's trying to end the show.
I got it with purpose.
Did the Mercury hit?
Man, my bets keep hitting. You feel me? They're gonna have to give me some money sooner or later, man. Salute to my brothers. I see y'all.
Pay that man. Pay Juju. Pay that man.
Shaquille O'Neal. I see
my
you.
man.
And my
Shaquille
sister, look at
O'Neal.
the blazer. Look at the shit around her neck too. Look at the shit
Juju
around
and
her
I
neck.
own the bookstore together.
You feel me? Hey,
It's a different kind of books.
Coffee shop next door.
Different kind of books that Juju's into. The last question before we get out of here. Does anyone want to amend their series prediction? Because there was like a little up and down after Game 2 versus after Game 1.
No.
We're all
good.
okay.
Yeah, I
Heat
think
in 3.
Denver was gonna sweep, so I'd like to amend that.
Now Charlotte's got Heat in 7.
There you go.
And 9.
For Charlotte Wilder, for Jenna Garcia, for Juju Gotti, for Taylor Vipolis, for Tom Haberstroh, Mo DeKeel, and Zach Harper. And what's his name? Whatever the
Boogie.
stupid dog is.
And the Jokic brothers.
And the
Jokic brothers.
The terrifying Jokic brothers. And Jeremy Taché. Oh,
Jeremy Taché. Jeremy Taché.
Jeremy Taché.
We got to end it before we can't get much worse than what we've done.
Yes, we could do worse. We could do worse.
Oh, here he is. Okay. All right, little
Post-game reaction.
That sucked. The word everybody kept using in the locker room, intention. So intention is really important apparently in basketball. That's a big one.
It was now, were they referring to the offensive or defensive end?
Both ends. Intention. Rebounding, intention. Offense, intention. Attention to detail.
We had some
attention
on this.
Doesn't really matter. That's all that went wrong for the Heat tonight.
Sounds like they got some cruel intentions.
Sounds like
that's what I heard.
Cool intentions is what Zach said. All right, and on this note, Dust Eye said, "Let's toe," and that's the end of the show.
Let's go.
Catch us